Hey everybody, Casey here with CaseyShip.com and Hot Moms. And today, one of our very successful students, Liz, she's going to be joining us. She went from survival mode, always feeling like busy, running behind, stubborn fat, couldn't sleep, low libido, to hitting record numbers in the gym, wanting to do it all the time. Her husband can't keep his hands off of, you know what I mean? She can't keep her hands off him. Connecting with her daughters, more energy than she knows what to do with, thriving, starting other businesses. She's just crushing it. So thank you so much for being here today and sharing how you did it.
Thank you. Listen, I'm honored to be here. And if just one person, gets something out of it, I think that's just amazing. I just hope other people receive the same gift.
They will. I was not supposed to be successful. Hey there, Casey Ship here, fitness model, hormone expert, and a master energy healer. I help goal-oriented women clear out the reason why nothing has worked and finally step into their purpose and get everything they've ever wanted. Tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do for work, kids, so people can connect. Are you married, single, all that stuff?
Yeah. So I'm married for 21 years.
Whoa.
Married my high school sweetheart. So I'm like one of those rare situations. I sell drugs for a living. So pharmaceuticals.
Nice.
No, I'm in the oncology space. So that's my 9-to-5 job. 2 kids, 14 and 12. So this has been very powerful during these teenage years. I had no idea. Yes. So what else? And I'm definitely an entrepreneur at heart. So 9-to-5, I help cancer patients, but I'm also really at this stage in my life, I'm 43 years old, and I'm like, trying to figure out sort of the legacy play and long-term. That was another thing that drew me to UKC, is the whole entrepreneurial, like things I can do on the side to really set my family up for success, because we're kind of in the prime years for that, so.
Okay. All right. So have you gotten any promotions with your job? Have you gotten better at sales, or has anything shifted in your job?
Yeah. So I'm on track to go to Rome, which is as of right now, it's like the top 10% of reps get to go. And so we're doing really well numbers wise. Yes. I think something I think the why behind that is, like, with your program, you really cut out the fluff in life, I think, and, just focus on like yourself, and kind of everything else falls into play.
Yeah. The fluff, man. The sales team and all this stuff, they were worried about rapport on calls, talking in small talk and me toos. And I said, fuck that. Just figure out what's going on with the person, and then how can we help? And I said, they'll feel the rapport, and that's what it is. Just fuck the fluff, man. What's your problems, and let's solve them together,
Absolutely. Yes.
So,
and I try to do that in my job every day too. Like, what's going on? How can I help? And then if you're taking care of that person, like, everything else will fall into place.
Absolutely. So that's good. Now, before the program working with us, did you get the trips to Rome? Were you in the top 10% still?
Nope. Can't say that I was.
Wow.
Not for lack of trying. I worked really hard. I probably didn't work as smart as I do now. And to be honest with you, that's just one glimpse. So, like, one of the many things at a year program that I like. So yes, in my 9-to-5 job, I'm on track for the first time ever for, like, what we call like chairman's club. And I've been in pharma over 10 years now. So that's the case with that. But in addition to that, the opportunities and the things that I have kind of entrepreneurial wise, just, some things like real estate wise, and even investment wise, stock wise, I'm kind of at this moment where everything is really set for all of that to fall into place too. So income wise, there's no question that will continue to increase as well.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay. Yeah. You're not the first pharmaceutical rep. We have most of our reps hit record numbers once they get into the content. And it's not like, because I know women listening is going to be like, well, what are you doing differently? What is it, sales or whatever? And it's not. It's once you peel back the layers of just shit, this just little daily things that's not making you happy. I don't know. It just bleeds in everything else. And she said self-love. So we'll get into that. Okay. Do you remember, and I can look at your notes if I need to, but do you remember like your problem when you came in?
So, I mean, probably like many, I came initially for the additional stubborn weight loss, and then as I learned about the hormonal stuff, I was just, so many things made sense as far as okay, I'm doing everything I can. Like I'm in CrossFit and I'm doing all these different things. And yet I'm still like just hitting this plateau. Things aren't working. And then come to find out it was really more about taking care of myself, self-love, like healing adrenals, finding out all these things about hormones, which I was sort of on a mission. Basically what it was is when I watched your I forgot what you call it, like the prelude, if you will, and then talked to
Yeah.
Nicole. I was like, you know what? This is just like I've been looking for these things in all these different places, and this is sort of answering all the questions that I'm looking for in one place.
Nice. Okay, got it. So you were doing CrossFit and were struggling with stubborn fat. Found one of my ads, and
Mm-hmm.
then you kind of got into like one of our low ticket things pre-launch, and then was like, dude,
Yes.
right? And it was like, oh my God,
Yes.
covering everything. And then you upgraded to the mastermind.
Totally.
So since then, like what's been the best, I don't know, progression marker or something you want to share? Like,
Mm.
yeah.
Honestly, I think best progression marker. I mean, I would say like and I'm still a work in progress, but
We
the
are
inner
all.
work for
We
sure.
are. Oh, everybody is.
I know. I would say the inner work for sure. I had no idea how much I needed it. And the timing was really good. It came at a really great time in my life, just trying to navigate some things with my teenage daughter who's 14 and teach her self-love. And to be honest with you, I didn't have the capacity to do it. Like I have learned that I did not, like she's struggling in some ways, and it's because I couldn't even really, I wasn't even coming from a place to be able to teach her, to be
Yeah.
able to teach her how to like really feel emotions, talk about our emotions. Like that's just not something we did growing up, you know? And so I had to learn real quick, you know, I had to learn really quickly. And so I think that to me, that's been like the biggest thing. And I would say like, I think my mantra for this year for 2023 is going to be like, look out world, I'm learning to love myself. Like that's
Yeah.
it. Like I thought I did. And I certainly, that was not the case. So,
Yeah. Okay. And we'll get into that. So
okay.
how's the stubborn fat going? I mean, how's that stuff going?
It's good. It's good. I mean, to be honest with you, Casey, that's probably the hardest thing for me to make. I am, so I'll tell you this before we get on, of course, like I am still doing CrossFit just because I
Fun.
haven't quite found the like right location, equipment. Like that's taken a little longer than I thought to do all of that. And so, and then to learn like all the moves on, Gracie's challenges and things like that. So that is definitely one thing I could work on some more.
Okay.
Because I want to I've taken a step back and like in realizing I needed to heal my adrenals and not go hard 6 days a week. Like I've definitely been a lot more conscientious doing it, but I know I need to make that transition.
Okay.
And I told Gracie that's been hard for me, like just to do the easy way and just show up to class versus
Yeah. What was the main problem you had? You mentioned stubborn fat. Were you also struggling with low energy, constipation, low libido? Like give us
yes.
some
All
symptoms.
of those things, all of
Okay.
those things actually. Low libido, stubborn fat for sure. And again, we're always worked hard. It just didn't, there were things that weren't lining up for me. You know what I mean? And that's, I think I shared with you, you know, like that's one of the things that drew me to you is I'm out there searching in all these different places for like, what's going on with my hormones? What's going on? Why do I have low libido? Why do I have low energy? I found myself often like struggling to even get through the day. And I was looking at all these places. And so, but your content, it was like everything was in one spot. And the self-love and all of that was just a total added bonus in addition to all of that. But like I was just looking at all these, I wanted to sign up for all these different masterminds, get all this additional knowledge, podcasts, etc. And I was like, why don't I just go to one spot?
There you go. Do
Mm-hmm.
you remember if you got cravings at all? Did you get sugar
Oh,
craving?
totally.
Okay.
100%.
So sugar craving, because some women don't understand that it's adrenal fatigue or thyroid, and it shows up as sweet cravings, salty cravings, dips in the energy. Can you give me a little bit about your like the low energy? Was it at 10 a.m.? Was it at tell us what your life looked like? Because you're really educating other women, letting them know, hey, you're not fucked up. You just have adrenal fatigue.
Absolutely. For me, Casey, it's sweets. It was sweets, big time. I mean, we're talking like every time I ate, I felt like I needed something sweet after. And then as far as the energy for me, it was like 3 p.m. or so in the afternoon. And I literally would have to either drink coffee if on the weekends, or if my schedule ever permitted, take like a cat nap or something just to get over that hump. But like right around 3 p.m., just exhausted.
Okay. All right. Exhausted 3 p.m. and sugar after you
Mhm.
eat. You know, you mentioned being on the pill for a long time, and the pill causes candida, yeast overgrowth, which makes you crave sugar. And so a lot of women don't even think the fact that they were on birth control, even if it's Mirena, it's going to cause candida overgrowth. And so we gotta fix that too. Okay. So how about on edge? Were you on edge more? Do you remember?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Just on edge, sort of anxiety.
Hmm.
Yeah, just and I really, a lot of it was until I got off the birth control, which again was huge for me after 20 years of being on it, and then and taking the adrenal supplements. Like those were, it's crazy because I think one of the things I realized with your program, and you kind of alluded to this in the pre-launch, is like sometimes it's a little tweak. It may not be some just crazy, especially if you're somebody that's active and you're doing all the things and working hard and like, working out, but it could be a little tweak that makes a
Oh yeah.
huge difference in your
The brush.
entire day.
Yeah, the brush strokes, man. I always talk about those brush strokes. How about sleep? Do you remember if you were specifically, could you go to bed before 10? Were you staying asleep, waking up refreshed? Like what was sleep like to you back then?
Not good. Not good. I probably woke up on average probably like 3 times a night, I would say.
Wow.
Um, yeah. Like to go to the bathroom, or would wake up super tired, not good, night sweats all the time.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now are your periods normal or did you go through menopause or did you get hysterectomy? What's all that?
So that is actually, it's coming back with a vengeance after getting off birth control.
Okay.
I've honestly only had one, two, I guess you could say, probably one real one at this point, and it's been an adventure. I'll just say that.
Well, as you have post contraceptive syndrome. So when you came in, you had, adrenal fatigue to the core. Now that you're coming off that, we're going to treat it kind of similar, but it can be treated. So we'll make sure to, do that because post contraceptive syndrome is real. It's real.
It is so real. It's so real. And it's been about 3 months for me. And your doctors have been awesome. They're going to do, like, we did a baseline and then we'll check in again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like just having their support, because I think they get it. I just I had no idea what I was in for. But thankfully, you and some other people in the Hot Moms program have said that it, like, I guess at least I was mentally prepared somewhat, have said how real it is and how important it is to get off. And I will preach that. I think I shared with you, like, I'm trying to get my sister off. Like, it is no joke. Like, you need to be on it as little time as possible. I just had no idea. I just kind of was in cruise control and on it for 20
Well,
years.
we were taught that. I was taught that
Yeah.
like that's just what you did when you started having your period and turned into a woman. You just got on birth control. Like that's just what I was
Yep.
taught. But yeah, if anybody's watching this, anything, the copper IUD with no hormones, anything with no hormones is going to be better than hormones. So, okay. So why did you choose to join our program versus, any other thing or even therapy for that matter?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wanted a one-stop place. I think I shared with you, I don't mind doing the work, and I've been on a self-improvement journey for a while. You're in your 40s. I think that's a good time to, for me it was to realize, like, okay, there are a lot of things that have to happen. And so I was on this journey and looking different places, and truly your program, Casey, really encompasses everything. I want to look better, I want to feel better. That's all the outside stuff that drew me in initially. And then once I got into the program and the work, like the self-love and all of that, like I just had no idea how far off I was, honestly, until you really dig in. There were things that I've dealt with, like anxiety. And that's one thing, even with my job, with my 9 to 5 job, that I think has also helped with the success I dealt with. Honestly, it was pretty bad. And I, between probably my adrenals and just the lack of, like, emotion and getting in check with myself, I just kept pushing through, and the anxiety just kept getting worse. And it's gotten worse, I would say worse my adult life. And then you add to that having teenage children and a job and, a husband and life. And, I just kept suppressing everything. And I finally realized, like I said, it wasn't until your program, and I was actually more going for other things, like the entrepreneurial aspect and the physical aspect and I knew something was off, like hormonally, I knew that. But the whole self-love thing, that I can't even begin to, like, I really underestimated that part of it.
We don't know what it is. We hear it and we kind of roll our eyes like, yeah. But well, tell us real quick. I mean, what did you think self-love was and what has it been really?
So I thought self-love, like, to me, before I would do the things, I've been fortunate to, like, I would get a massage periodically, or get a facial, or little rewards, I guess, if you will. And I've been very fortunate to be able to do those things. And really what it is, and I'm still a work in progress, but like it's really spending time with yourself, getting to know yourself, getting to trust yourself. I'm still very much working on that. For me, a lot of it was getting to feel the emotions, because I just have my entire life basically suppressed, and just, what, guess what? Suck it up, move on. You don't need to feel this or that. You just need to keep going. And that's how it is. And
It's
so
fine. It's fine.
it's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so for me, it's actually more about like quality time. And again, I'm still trying to carve that out, but
Mhm.
even just being aware of it, being aware that I need to carve out more time for myself, and to journal, to do, you've got so many good neutralizers. You've got just really good, all of the, what do you
Tools.
call them? Like
Tools.
the tools, exactly. But even just like the meditations and things like that, and just
Mm.
being like, for me, part of it, honestly, if it's a day where I'm like, I know I need to do a meditation, if I haven't done that, if nothing else, I'll at least try to log into your program and at least just listen to you, like listen to a live, or listen to something you've posted recently, whether it's on Facebook, and just get in that. I
Mm.
think you've said that vibration, like just being in your vibration does make a huge difference.
Huge. Yep. Ride the wave, baby. Okay. So you chose it because it's a one-stop shop. It literally handles
Mhm.
everything. And yeah. Okay. So was there
Yeah.
anything in particular about our program that really helped you? And why was it so effective?
Okay, so another thing I should add is, you're very real. Everything, it's very raw. It's a community. Like, I love the fact that literally I was struggling with a couple different things this last year.
Mm.
And so, like, being able to go on the community and just say, like, hey, here's what's going on. Has anybody dealt with this? And just having that, of course, it's many women have, and they're very vulnerable and willing to share that. So for me, it's, I think, the community of like-minded women that are in the same boat, that are learning your content and helping to better just be the best version of themselves. But in addition to that, all your new content, I love getting on the live calls when I can. I love Luis, Mary. I mean, you've got all these great people that you bring into the mix. And so nothing's ever, to be honest with you, part of me was concerned when I got into it, like, oh, she's got this content, I'm gonna try to knock it out as quick as I can. And I know you say don't do that, like, don't do that. You're gonna have to revisit it. I know that. But in addition to that, there's so many new things, and you
Mm.
keep evolving and keep changing it. And I'm so glad to see that, because I think sometimes you put an investment forward and you're like, well, eventually I'm gonna get through the content. And yes, I'm gonna have access to it for 5 years. But like, I mean, some of these calls I've had, I just had one with Louise the other day. It was a group call. I really want to do a one-on-one with her. And some of the things she said, it's crazy. This whole energy healing thing is kind of new for me. And hers, from a business aspect, totally new to me. And it's kind of opened up a whole nother world, to be honest with you, with understanding about healing your energy. Actually, I've even kind of taken it a step further and worked on healing, like, my daughter's energy, for example. And so it's been incredible. It's been
Nice.
incredible.
So the thing that really helps sounds like the ever evolving content grows with you,
Yes.
and
Yes.
the energy work, meaning, everything is energy. The emotions are energy, just in motion, right? Emotion and energy, it's all the same.
Yes.
And so energy healing, it's not like, satanic rituals. It's simply like, hey, are you low energy? Let's move that. Let's figure out what's causing low energy, and then getting you to be high energy. That's really all it is. Uh,
Yeah.
Moving things, energetics. How can we make this feel better? Because it's a paradigm shift. The reason we think the things is because of some programming that's causing energy about the thing. So we help you to recognize blocks and things and move on. That's what she's talking about.
Absolutely. And it just, like I said, once you get into it, it's a whole nother world. It is something so a lot of things made sense hearing you talk about all of this and like through your like resilient, mastermind program and all these different courses that focus on energy. And again, I originally approached it like I have blocks, I have, money blocks, I have things that I procrastinate on things and I don't understand why. And understanding that, being aware, and then like going through your content. I mean, the content itself is awesome and really helps you, but like it's truly a whole nother world once you work on your energy.
To understand why you struggle, why that to me is so freeing. That was me. I wanted to know why. I was like, yeah, I want the thing, but why the fuck? Oh, I feel this way because of this. That was very freeing to me.
Yes.
I felt validated. Yeah. And then money blocks. Let's talk about that. I mean, you make six figures. You're making more money now and you're hitting promotions because of the program, but there's shame around money blocks. People think, oh, I don't have them. We're actually doing good. But then they'll balk. They're like, I can't invest right now. I'm like, you're fucking into your money trauma. That's why you don't have anything else. So give me like just two little examples of your money, fucked up money stories that you had, just so maybe other women can say, oh my God, me too.
I think one for me would be being content, being too content. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the other, so like if you work a 9 to 5 and you have a great job, I'm realizing that's an amazing gift. However, I need to think like I'm going to be retiring, before I know it. I mean, it's life goes so quickly. It's, whatever, 10, 15 years out. And so I think you get stuck in this like, hey, everything's good. Everything's great. We're content. We can, we're grateful. Like we can do a lot of things we need to do, but you could do so much better. So I think that's part of it. And for me, the other big block was honestly this entrepreneurial world, which I'm still in the process of making that. But I now through your program, I have a lot of things lined up to really set our family up for success. So that was a block for me because it was one of those things where, I come from like a family where we're kind of dreamers and like these amazing, and, you have these courses about, getting rid of the, what's the term? Like infatuation and that sort of thing with, you know what I'm saying? Like just make it happen. Make it happen. And I could not figure out, literally day after day, I would sit there and like, okay, in addition to my 9 to 5 job, I want to work on this for my family, in the evenings or whatever. And I just, every day I was not really getting anywhere. And once you clear all these things, clear the infatuation, clear the fear and the even depression, whatever that may be, those different neutralizers, kind of working through that and learning to love yourself and trust yourself, you think so much more clearly, you get things done.
Dude, when I came across that from John Whiting, it was one of those tools. It's like my doctors. When I found out what my doctors were able to help me do, I was like, I've got to share this with the world. And that was when I found those neutralizers. I was like, this needs to be shared to the masses. It is so powerful. It's like, what? It is so powerful. So you're right. I love that. Okay. As a result of implementing the program, what has been the outcome? And you can sum up kind of like we've already talked about. Let's, sum up your own words. Go ahead.
I just opened up a whole new world is the bottom line. I've learned to love myself, and I'm still, again, a work in progress on that. So I guess it was really, Casey, like I was on the search right before. I was looking to improve myself. I knew I could be a better version of myself. I just didn't know how. So I think many women like in their 40s, for example, you're at that stage, like you think everything's going great. And then you're like, but there's still some things missing. Like I just can't get over these hurdles. And so as a result of the program, I am more successful at work. And in addition to that, lining up some things for my family for our, retirement financial future. I am sleeping better. I'm eating better, better with relationships, better libido, which is amazing. Just so many different things that, and again, it's doing the work and some of the little, like, not crazy fixes when it comes to working with the doctors and things. Like there are things that can be done that I think maybe some people might delay it thinking, oh, it's going to be, oh my God, I got to do all this work and all this, whatever, working out, or I've got to really rehab my diet. And at the end of the day, all that stuff comes naturally when you take care of yourself first
Yeah. And when
and you do
say,
the work.
and when you say do the work, women are already thinking, oh, I don't have enough time. And I tell them, I say,
Mm-hmm.
you're listening to this video right now. Most of our content is video based. You do it when you do laundry, when you're walking, when you're driving. And the real work is like if you get triggered, and you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I'm pissed off. I resent the hell out of my mother-in-law. Or I feel really lots of self-doubt. The work is going and sitting with that and doing the clearing like 30 minutes. That's the most work. I tell everybody, would you agree? That's the most work, is like literally sitting
Yes.
down for 30 minutes, maybe once a week, once a month.
And the thing about it that I'm realizing, I totally agree with that. That's an accurate time frame. And the thing I'm realizing is if you don't do that, if you don't make the time to do that, you're going to have the same crap coming back. So like use your mother-in-law as an example, just as an example. So you don't take the 30 minutes, you're going to keep dealing with that crap over and over. And that's actually more time consuming at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it's a 30-minute thing, not every day. Women, I'm like, no,
Yeah.
this is every day. If you'll just log into the content, you will get results. Just by listening, you will elevate your life. You don't even have to do that. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yes, I promise.
Yes.
So, okay, cool.
Yes. Yeah. And I even
Uh,
listen to your content a lot driving down the road. I'm on the road a decent amount for work.
yeah.
And it just it's just a whole different perspective, a different vibration, listening to whatever I can, if it's live, if it's just some of the content in the mastermind program. You can do it. I do it all the time on the road, and
Yeah.
it's so much better than just listening to the radio or whatever else.
It's how I change. It's how I'm here. It's how I'm, when people look at me like, how do you do what you do? I'm like, I literally, it started in my car. I just started listening to
Yeah.
stuff in my car. So, okay, you kind of answered this question. How has your life changed? You mentioned earlier that you and your daughters have a better bond now. You feel like you're a better mother because you can help them, with their emotional intelligence. How do you feel like your life has changed? Is there anything left off that you hadn't covered in this question?
I guess the short answer is it's just so much better. I was in survival mode before and I didn't realize it.
In survival mode for you, were you just kind of always in a rush, always rushing around?
Yes.
Not enough time.
Not enough time, full of anxiety, just not dealing with my emotions, quite frankly. And just that just kind of kept, and I kept just pushing through and just, again, I had no idea how much I was in survival mode. I had no clue until I really had dug in and done the work.
And the hormones helps you a lot. Now, how long have you been in the
Yeah.
program?
Since fall, like I want to say it was August, September.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. How quickly did you get with our physicians? I'm asking because some women come in and they start with hormones and then they get into the clearings and stuff like that. Some women come straight in into the nutrition and workouts, then hormones. But what did you do first?
I actually did the gut check and the hormones right away.
Okay.
Basically, right, because I wanted to get a baseline, get off birth control. Like that was my main mission, understanding the importance through your program of how important it was to get off birth control. So I started that right away. And then I kind of have filled in with the work and the clearing and the, doing the actual mastermind program.
Okay. And now, have you had any changes in body composition at all? I mean, do pants fit better? Do you feel sexier in your clothes? Are you able, like, any changes there?
Total. Yeah, absolutely. I would say just stronger. It's funny, actually, even just, a friend of mine working out the other day was like, made the comment, and I didn't even think much of it, but she's like, Liz has just been stronger lately. You know what I mean? She was telling one of the coaches that. So I guess there are things that are happening that I'm not even quite realizing, but yes, in general, I think one of the biggest things, I feel a lot better. I feel just so much better, so much more energy. And that for me on a daily basis is a huge deal with all the things going on in life, but yeah, and I don't have like, it's weird. I don't even eat as much. I used to be an eater. Like I love food, sweets. I find myself just not even needing it as much. I think I'm just more content.
You
Right.
cleared the reason why you used to numb out with food, like most of us do in wine.
Totally.
So it's awesome, man. Okay.
Didn't even realize I was doing it. Yep.
Yeah, no, they don't. And so where do you think you'd be right now if you didn't take action, even though it may have been scary or whatever? Like, where do you think you'd be right now if you didn't join when you did?
I think I'd still be in survival mode on the hamster wheel.
And then your daughters would be just falling right in line,
Totally. Totally. It just so eye-opening. I think that's one of the biggest gifts is just understanding just this whole new world really of being a better person. And again, I think a lot of it, like I said, you just dig in and do the work, Casey, and these things all fall into place. I think I thought, okay, if I have to spend I would be out there still searching, probably like knowing that I needed to make a change and spending the time like looking and still on the hamster wheel, still full of anxiety and all of that. And once you just take the time and dig in, like I've been definitely guilty of, to your point, that busy person that's just always going and just preoccupied myself with things and just always busy, busy, busy. And when you just take the time and dig in and do the work, then a lot of the other things take care of themselves.
Hey, what's your husband say? Like, what is he saying?
Well, he he's happy. I'll say that.
So he didn't. So he's emotional like most guys. He's just happy. But okay, so you can tell he's happy. That's all. And I love the libido. I mean, having more sex is so good for all of us. It's something that puts us back into how we felt when we were young, and it gives you energy, and it's sexy, and it gives you actually a lot more creative energy, lots of just more energy. So I love that. But some people use it to numb out. We don't want you to do that. But I love that you guys, you're feeling better. So has he said anything? I love hearing husbands talk about hot moms. They're like, whatever little program, book club you're in.
Book club. Well, what's funny is this is hilarious. You're gonna appreciate this probably. But when I signed up for it and told him about the cost, I was like, but listen, I mean, Casey says like we need to have sex more. We need to like this. It's gonna be like this is gonna be a win-win. And now I think he actually finally gets it. He's like, okay, sure. That like I've heard that before. You know, you spend money on other things, whatever, shopping, whatever, fill in the blank. And so it's just been I mean, he not only has he seen a difference in me, but he's seen a difference in my daughter too. So that is just like the gift that keeps on giving.
You're welcome, Daddy. You're welcome, Daddy. You know, I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
Oh. Okay.
Exactly.
So last question. If there's anyone watching that's on the fence about enrolling, whether they book a call, enroll, I'm setting it up to where women just come in and they go through videos and they sign themselves up. But, you know, if they're on the fence, what would you say to them?
I would say make yourself a priority. Like why, if you want to learn about how to be the best version of yourself and you want to sit there and do like I did and take the really scenic route and take forever, you can do that. But why wouldn't you want to invest in yourself at the end of the day?
Well, a lot of
and if you know
they won't be, they have self-doubt. Well, if how will I know this isn't like all the other programs?
I mean, honestly, for me, you know, sort of being on the other side of it, the results speak for themselves. So when you see and you hear, and women may not be able to see it necessarily if they're not in the paid program, but those of us that are, you know, we hear from the whole community all of these amazing breakthroughs financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Marriage, like one thing after another. I mean, we see it that are in the mastermind program all day, every day. So we know, we see the results and they do speak for themselves. And so it's an investment. I mean, it's an investment in yourself. And so if you want to keep putting yourself last and the bottom line is if you want to make a change, if you're not completely happy with everything in your life right now, you got to invest in yourself.
It's like you just said something. If you're not part of the change, then you're the problem. That just came to mind. And boy, I think I'm going to make that a meme. So if you're not choosing to change, then you are the problem. So it's that man in the mirror thing. I love it. I love it. And spiritually, you're a believer?
I am.
How would you say this has helped your connection? Has it strengthened your connection spiritually?
100%. And the crazy thing, it has in ways that I never imagined. So I'm born and raised a Christian. Okay. So, you know, it's always, faith has been very important to me. However, I never understood. And now, of course, through the program, I'm actually meeting other people. To me, it was sort of energy healing, Christianity were like different things. They never really crossed over in my world before. Yeah. And so, and so like, just, so I was a Christian, but I never really, and now once you kind of, that spiritual realm and you understand that and kind of understand hey, maybe that's what God wants for us, is to be able to heal ourselves, heal other people, and work on our energy. And like, that is sort of, again, from the Christian side of things, like that's like the Holy Spirit. Like I never really understood all of that and never saw it cross over. And of course, now I'm meeting people, even in the church that I've gone to for a long time, that have these same beliefs. And I just never, I mean, it's definitely deepened my relationship with God, but it's also made it so much more of just, like I said, from an energy, from a learning to love yourself standpoint, from that standpoint, it's a whole different level. And you just look at things differently every day.
Yeah, it's strange. You wander around in survival mode, which is fear, which is not God.
Mm-hmm.
It is not love.
Totally.
And so getting in
Totally.
touch with the love, investing in yourself because you trust you will be taken care of. There will be more money. There will be more opportunity because you're stepping out in faith. And then you're taking time for yourself because you are the most important, because that resides in you. It's just, it's a different way of thinking. But once you get it, it's like game changer. And everybody I talk to that is very faith-based, traditional Christian, they're like, dude, my spiritual has gone, it's way more powerful. My prayers are more profound. I'm like, yeah, there's more of a unity consciousness. You feel more connected. And to me, that's what the original message was for.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And it's an abundance thing too. Like, I think you said this, of course, before too, but I mean, God doesn't want us to suffer and to be, miserable. And I mean, he wants us to have all the things. And so it just like marrying these concepts of spirituality, which I kind of already had before, but just doing the energy work and self-love. Because if you don't love yourself, I mean, it's very hard to trust or love anybody else. So.
And we find out in the program why you don't love yourself in Reset and Restore. I created that course for that, because a lot of us running around don't have enough time, don't have enough money. We're doing this. That is that you're in self-hate. Adrenal fatigue is self-hate. Totally. Because you go, and you don't slow down, because if you slow down, it means you're going to drop the ball. That's trauma, so yeah, I'm so happy that you did this. Did you sign up on the first call or no?
Oh, on the first call you mean with Nicole? Like when
Nicole?
I spoke with her?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I did. Well, and I watched the pre-launch, and like I said, for me, it checked so many boxes at once. I was like, how can I not do this?
That's right. We used to do that. We used to we sell it to everyone. And then I was like, you know what, that can just sell them. If they want to do it, they can get their toe wet. So maybe that's what we need to go back to doing, because we love having you.
Oh, thank you. Ditto. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so grateful.
Well, cool. All right, girlfriend. Well, we'll see you in the mastermind.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Bye.
Casey.
See ya.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
This is it. I've got a free training, CaseyShip.com/register. Be sure to grab that and then join my free Facebook group and just reach out. Struggle is not required. So hit me up, CaseyShip.com/register. Talk to you soon.